Hi.
Hey. Hi.
So my speech tonight is called Lost and Found. So my mantra is, it is what it is, but it will become what you make it. I don't like to boast, but I am a truly wealthy person because Chazal teaches us, Ezehu Ashir Hasameach B'Cholko. Who is a wealthy person? One who is happy with his portion in life. When you accept your portion in life, whatever it is, you are accepting Ratzon Hashem, the will of God, to have or not have whatever is meant for you. Now, that is fine when you like your portion, but sometimes our portion is hard to accept. Every day, when I daven Shema Kolenu, I ask Hashem to comfort me and give me strength from the things that are part of the chelek that I was given, yet was mitzvah, so that I can live my life in simcha. I want to live my life in simcha because that is the way I can fully appreciate and recognize the gifts of Hashem in our world. Tonight, I will share with you my GPS for navigating loss, my personal experiences with loss, and my approach for recovery. My GPS for navigating loss. Just as you need a GPS to not get lost, you need a GPS to navigate loss. Because when you experience loss, you are truly lost. The G in my GPS is for gratitude. There is always something to be grateful for. Each time we recognize Chasdei Hashem, it strengthens us and gives us the resilience to move forward. When we begin each day with Moda Ani, we plant our seeds of gratitude for that day. When we go through our day and recognize and appreciate the blessings that we have been given, it is like we are watering the seeds of gratitude and watching them flower. I believe in experiencing the message of Moda Anu throughout the day. And just as I begin my day with expressing attitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that is also how I end my day. Before I go to sleep, I say, Toda Ani. And I keep a journal of gratitude, which enables me to remember all the things for which I can be grateful. This reminds me of Chasdei Hashem, which envelops my life and gives me the strength and courage to look forward to another day. I want to thank my dear friend, Esther Friend, for sharing this article with me. Nighttime is often when our worries and anxieties come to the surface. When the dark falls and our eyes start to close, it can be easy to succumb to the weight of our thoughts. But what if we turn this around and instead use this time to reflect on all the good things in our lives? Gratitude can positively affect your brain. It can help your brain produce dopamine, which is the brain's pleasure chemical. Because mental health plays such a large role in the quality of sleep that you get, practicing gratitude before bed improves your psychological and physical well-being. In a study conducted with 400 individuals who suffered from sleep disorder, 40% of them reported that they fell asleep faster and longer when they practiced gratitude before going to sleep. And actually, it works. The P in my GPS is for peacefulness. Although we may all face different circumstances, we can only do the best that we can do. And unfortunately, sometimes there is nothing that we can do. It is easier to say shalom, hello, than to say shalom, goodbye. But shalom doesn't mean hello or goodbye. It means peace. Although it is hard to say goodbye, when we realize that we have fulfilled the needs of our loved ones to the best of our ability, we are providing them and ourselves with the greatest sense of shalom, peace. And then we are able to let them go. Loss and grief are difficult enough without the additional burden of guilt, regrets, and should-haves. The S in my GPS represents sadness, which is a healthy and normal, yet painful part of loss. Everyone experiences loss, but not all losses are created equally. There are timely and expected losses, and there are untimely and tragic losses. The challenge is, no matter what you have lost, and I have lost everyone I can actually lose in my life, but I have not lost myself. The loss of my beloved parents was difficult, but in retrospect, it was timely and normal. Almost 11 years ago, our beloved son Shmuley contracted a mysterious disease, and although he recovered from the initial infection, when a patient is in an ICU for a long time, they often develop secondary infections. After 2 weeks in an ICU, Shmuley was unable to recover from the secondary infection. We will always be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the 2 weeks that we were able to be with him in the hospital. Most of all, for the amazing chesed that was done for Shmuley and for us, and most of all, for allowing us to borrow this amazing neshama that was Shmuley. When we began sitting Shiva in New York, because that's where he was, we received countless calls and visits from others who had lost children, and they shared that they would never laugh again, attend smacho, enjoy chagim, or life. My husband and I, day one, looked at each other and said, we do not know how we are going to get through this, but we know that that's not going to be the way. And Baruch Hashem, it wasn't. In fact, the very first thing that we did when we got up from Shiva was to establish the Chasdei Shmuley Fund, which provides food for Shabbat, Chagim, and any other time as needed to anyone in our community who is in need. We know that that would have given Shmuley a great deal of pleasure, and it certainly gives us a great deal of pleasure. My brother and my only sibling was 16 months younger than me, and we were very close. He came to New York from California to be with us during the Shiva, and then he came back to Seattle with his wife for the end of Shiva and Shabbat. He was not feeling well, and we attributed that to the loss of Shmuley, with whom he was very close. When he returned home, He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer that had metastasized to his liver. With great sorrow, I sat Shiva twice in 7 weeks. How fortunate I was, Chasdei Hashem, to have had the strength, the emunah, and wisdom of my beloved husband to support me through this difficult time and for an additional 10 years. My husband's first yahrzeit was on Chavchas Iyar. I'm grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving us our Meya De'esrim, because we felt that our lives began when we found each other, and we were blessed with 60 years together. So we felt his 60 and my 60 gave us our 120. The loss of my husband created an indelible void in my life. Yet Chasdei Hashem envelops me every day. My husband had terminal kidney disease, which led to a series of heart attacks. After he completed his hospital stay and was in rehab, we both knew that we wanted him home. He could not climb stairs, and he did not want a stair lift, and he had to leave the house 3 times a week for dialysis. Bezrat Hashem, and with the help of wonderful friends, we were able to make his study/classroom into a wonderful living space where we lived together for his last 6 months. His Talmidim called that space the place where magic happens. I believe that in the zchus of the multitude of classes where he taught men, women, high school boys, high school girls, their parents, and some grandparents, that he was able to have a quality of life for an additional 6 months. During that time, he had 24-hour care as well as hospice support, and I had the great privilege and zchus to oversee his care. The process of recovery. Survivor Viktor Frankl said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Studies show that some people who suffer from severe trauma are depressed and find it difficult to function. And then there are some who are more resilient and who are able to bounce back to the state that they were in before the trauma. But then there is another group, and they amazingly bounced forward. And we call this post-traumatic growth. It is the capacity of a person to grow from their trauma. This growth can take place in many forms, such as gaining appreciation for things you previously took for granted, forming deeper relationships with others who have been in the same situation, discovering some meaning in life, more meaning in life, developing a feeling of purpose that you can help others, finding personal strength, and seeing new possibilities. To move forward, we need to be open to new opportunities. This can only happen if you don't use your emotional energy wishing for your old situation to return. Helen Keller said, "When one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door, we don't see the door that is open for us." The more helpful that you can be to others is the best help you can give yourself. Fortunately and unfortunately, people who go through hardships acquire knowledge with which they can help others who are going through similar experiences. Now I'm going to talk about my personal recovery from loss begins by creating a new normal through which we begin to find ourselves. I had the greatest success and joy to have had a husband who was the center of my life from the time that I was 18 years old. As I slowly navigated this year, I realized that I would need to find a way to move forward. And I found that moving forward by looking forward was a very helpful tool for me. To help this process, I keep a journal in which I have a calendar where I list things to anticipate. Some are big and some are small. All of you tonight are on my calendar. A walk with a friend, inviting guests, calling someone who's sick, planning a project, or a trip. Taking pleasure from anticipation is built into us, and it is a key to our mental well-being. When we imagine our future selves doing something we love, our brain releases the happiness hormone, dopamine, giving us the motivation to endure difficult days. There is even scientific proof that we get more pleasure from expectation than from the actual reward, because dopamine drops when we get what we want. Humans don't like waiting, but positive anticipation is good for us. Aside from the dopamine, the emotions it creates helps us cope with stress and boosts our problem-solving abilities. There are also neurons in the brain that light up when we imagine future good things. And this is known as the hope circuit, and it reduces feelings of helplessness. Helping others is the secret weapon to your recovery, because you step outside your issues to help overcome their issues. When you treat yourself to a gift, dopamine is released and brings you to a happy place. But when you buy a gift for another person, you release a megadose of dopamine. Being involved in chesed opportunities and finding a way to help others is truly the gift that keeps on giving. This has been a challenging and scary year. I constantly feel my husband's simchat hachayim and wisdom propelling me forward to succeed and be joyful. This is a gift for which I will always be grateful. I was lost, but in finding ways to help others, I have become the process of becoming found. Thank you.
Wow.
Beautiful. Any questions? Very, very happy. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, I would be very happy to answer them. If anyone has questions that they don't want to discuss here, they want to call me to discuss, please. I have to tell you, Leya, that all of a sudden tonight, I was remembering, I don't think that you even knew about this, because you were very small, but my husband actually gave a class in your house.
Oh, really?
I think it was every Tuesday night. You were living in Mercer Island, and your mom wanted it very much. And I very much remember, I could even see your dining room, and maybe you kids weren't even home, or you were put someplace else during the time. But I very, very fondly remember that.
It's so beautiful. Oh, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
Well, you have some students on Facebook saying hi.
So nice to not see you, but nice to know that you're there.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.